You're watching WRTV 6 Indianapolis, making a difference for Indiana. This is WRTV 6 News at 11 with Clyde Lee, Dion Willis, weather with meteorologist Bob McLean, and Ed Sorensen on sports. Now, live WRTV 6 News at 11.
Good evening to you. Some residents of Plainfield are calling tonight for changes at the boys' school. They're upset over two escapees accused of beating a Plainfield woman during their escape.
Well, the two escapees are back now in custody, but the crimes they're accused of committing are ugly, and the residents don't want it to happen ever again. Deborah Darnell with their story.
The boys who escaped are accused of beating this Hendricks County woman and leaving her badly hurt. The violence has shaken Plainfield, and now more than a few are looking at the boys' school with fear. Tonight they appeared before the Plainfield Town Council and called for big changes in school security.
We are demanding that we obtain 2 guard towers, 1 on each side of the compound. They have to be 15 to 20 feet higher than the tallest building in the compound. We also are demanding that we obtain a designed 13-foot high fence that surrounds the compound from edge to edge and corner to corner. It's designed.
Residents say they don't want any repeats of this recent violence.
There are citizens of Plainfield that are outraged, and they demand that something be done, okay? Thanks.
With the escapees now caught, the state promises some changes. All boys will wear state clothing whenever they're outside so they can be easily spotted. The state will start a new classification system that will mean tighter security for high-risk offenders. And it also plans to set up a system for notifying the Hendricks County community about any escape. But state officials don't plan fences and guard towers.
We're never going to be able to stop every single escape. In a situation like boys' school, which is a minimum security facility, you are going to have walk-offs. And, 9.5 times out of 10, nothing happens, and the boys are apprehended within 24 hours after they leave the campus.
Residents here in Plainfield plan to form a committee to work on the security issue. The goal is to put pressure on the state to make more changes in boys' school security. In Plainfield, Deborah Darnell, 6 News.
The town council says it will offer support to the residents' efforts, and although the state says it will not give in to the residents' demands, a spokesman says it will continue still to look for ways to improve security at the boys' school. Fred Sanders, the ex-school teacher who shot and killed an Indianapolis police officer nearly 5 years ago, is back behind bars tonight. 2 years of appeals ended Friday when the Indiana Supreme Court ordered him back to prison because Sanders didn't show that he understood his original guilty plea. Before going back to a prison cell, he blamed the prosecutor and the police for blocking his petition to cut his sentence to time already served.
To kind of take this pious attitude that, that they've never done anything wrong, and will keep continuing as they have before, operating as they have before.
Sanders has 7 months and 13 days still remaining on his prison term.
A mother and grandmother involved in a late afternoon crash in serious condition tonight. Hamilton County authorities have released their names: 47-year-old Barbara Orberson and 64-year-old Clara Wilson in serious condition, Methodist Hospital. They were turning into the Hazeldale Elementary School when they were hit from behind and then into the path of an oncoming semi. The driver of the other car, 79-year-old Thelma Alexander, not seriously injured. The truck driver was not injured. There's a small bridge widening project underway on the west side of the city, but it is causing major traffic tie-ups. The construction work is just east of Lafayette Road on West 38th. Because of lane and turn restrictions, traffic backs up to the north, west, and south. The work is expected to take 3.5 months, and so far the best way to get through the intersection is to avoid it completely.
Well, they came from Illinois. They've been searching for 28 years. That's when Herbert Joe Milburn walked out on his son and his wife. They've been trying to track him down ever since so Anthony can know his father. They finally found him. They had a meeting set up for the morning. They drove here from Illinois, but Dad didn't show up this morning. Anthony thinks his father is so confused. So this evening, Anthony is making a plea to all of you.
I'd like people just to keep their eye out for Herbert Milburn, and if they locate him, to call the day center and let them know.
If you've seen a man who fits this description on your screen, you can help. Anthony's father is 5'7", has blue eyes, gray hair. He's 62 years old and walks with a slight limp. You can call the Indianapolis Day Center, 636-7550.
The renovated and expanded downtown convention center is nearly ready for business and has already booked 24 events into the new ballroom. The 36,000 square foot ballroom is the size of a football field and the largest among 8 other convention competitors in the Midwest and South. While other state convention centers are also expanding, local officials say ours is the only one with direct access to a dome stadium. Skywalks are also under construction to link the facility to 2 major downtown hotels. City believes the convention center and the yet-to-be-constructed Circle Center Mall are key to future economic growth. In 1991, tourism accounted for more than $1 billion in revenue and produced 37,000 full-time jobs. Workers at a Muncie factory who face losing their jobs have turned around and they've bought the plant. Management and workers at Indiana Steel and Wire are purchasing the plant from parent company General Cable through a stock ownership plan. Workers are funding the purchase by giving up about 16% of their wages and benefits. The deal ends months of uncertainty at the plant.
It sure is very, very exciting. I couldn't be more thrilled. We think that we're going to add jobs here, and it's going to be better for all of us and for the city.
The employee buyout saves more than 260 jobs currently at Indiana Steel and Wire.
In news from around the world tonight, the Senate Rules Committee is deciding whether an Oregon senator's lies to the news media affected his re-election.
At issue is whether Republican Bob Packwood defrauded voters by lying about his sexual misconduct until after the election. Attorneys for Oregon voters on both sides of the issue argued their case before the committee today. But senators on the committee sharply question whether they can nullify Packwood's election. The committee adjourned without making an immediate ruling.
The Senate Armed Services Committee continued its hearings on gays in the military, but this time on board U.S. warships. Committee members ran into heavy opposition from rank-and-file sailors. Gay rights activists claim it was just a photo op to bash gays.
For the second time in 3 years, fire ravages a business owned by country entertainer Mickey Gilley. The latest casualty, the Mickey Gilley Theater in the new country hotbed, Branson, Missouri. Today's fire did extensive damage, no one injured. An electrical spark is believed to be the cause. Gilley says he does plan to rebuild. Gilley opened the theater in 1990. That was the same year his Gilley's nightclub in Texas was destroyed by an arson fire.
Bad string of luck. A lot more news coming your way, including details on this year's 500 Festival Parade. You'll recognize this year's Grand Marshal, no doubt about that.
And next, what a scorcher today for early May. Bob's up next with a word of a couple of big changes.
Nearly half of Americans believe in UFOs. Tracy Horth talks with 3 people who are convinced.
Later, some hot action at the track, some scary action too, a couple of accidents. Ed has all the action in sports.
Closed captioning for 6 News is made possible by Thompson Consumer Electronics, maker of RCA Entertainment products.
We know how to help you save on the truck you want during Dodge Truck Month. How about a truck you can work and play in? Dodge Dakota Sport. You can get a Magnum V6, automatic transmission, rear anti-lock brakes, and more. Then with $500 cash back, this Dakota Sport is under $10,900. During Dodge Truck Month, we're going to help you save. Your Dodge dealer. We know how to help.
I started shopping here the day it opened because the prices are lower than a lot of places, and they're lower all the time. The best bargain was my front yard. I've got trees and things like that, and they're beautiful. They're growing real big. I mean, I always go around telling everybody how much I spent on my shrubs. My whole front yard is Walmart plants. And I thought I would always go to a nursery, but it's a good store. They serve the people. I like to come here.
And now, a quintile analysis of urban soybean consumption. Let's start with November 1939.
Sneaking out for a quick bite? Try the Pizza Hut lunch buffet with 6 different pizzas every day. Crispy salads, breadsticks, pasta, all for $3.99. And you'll be back before you know it.
Now, in 1940, there was a little...
That's right. Pizza, salad, breadsticks, and pasta for only $3.99. Sneak out for a quick bite at a Pizza Hut lunch buffet. Available in Indianapolis and surrounding areas.
Dear Midas, your mechanics gave me a free estimate and even pointed out that my brake pads were under warranty, saving me a lot. I was so thankful I bought them all lunch. Sarah Acco.
I'm telling you, it felt like 95 down in the pits today.
Oh, I'll bet.
All that heat and then all that blacktop radiating up that heat.
That's exactly right. And of course, the drivers, the mechanics are hoping that that's not going to be repeated during qualification weekends, because that kind of slows everything down a little bit and make those tires really adhere to that surface very good with all of that heat. But it looks like we got some good news in that area, because temperatures are going to be cooling off as we move through the week. Check and see what we have outside right now. These were the scenes from around the Seattle, Washington area. And haven't been able to do this too often because of either very cool temperatures or quite a bit of rain, and that's a little water skiing. Back today, they tied the record high temperature at 79 degrees. And it looks like they're going to be warming up even more tomorrow, as they will be into the low to mid 80s. And I'm sure scenes like this are being repeated not only in Seattle, as we're seeing, but around some of the local lakes and reservoirs with our nice warm temperatures that we've enjoyed the past few days. In addition to Seattle's record-tying 79, it was up to 85 in Portland, Oregon, and that was an outright record. 85 in Alpena, Michigan, 86 in Buffalo. Look at Marquette, Michigan, on the cool south shores of Lake Superior, up to 85. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, 87. They're now down below 50. The cool air has moved in. Starry right now, 70 degrees. Humidity is 68%. Wind light out of the south at 8, and the barometer is steady. Today's high was 86. It was not a record. The record for this date, 92, set back in 1896, and the low this morning was 63. Big picture across the country shows an area of low pressure that has been responsible for producing all of the severe weather in the nation's midsection, edging closer to our area. Right now, it doesn't look like the factors will be favorable tomorrow for the making of any severe weather here, but we may get some shower and thunder shower activity as the weakening remains continue to drift to the east. Look at the big expanse of fair sky out in the far west, except for right along the Pacific coast. Now, for us tomorrow, it doesn't look too bad. The convergence or coming together of a front from the north and this area of low pressure spiraling in from the south will produce varying amounts of cloudiness and the possibility of showers and a few thunder showers as the day goes on. You saw up there quickly another reinforcing surge of cooler air, and that will be coming down as the week goes on, lowering temperatures even more. So for tonight, a pretty good display of stars, but we'll also see a few fair weather clouds. Warm, temperatures no lower than the low to mid 60s. For tomorrow, look for varying amounts of cloudiness, maybe even a little sunshine, but the risk of scattered showers, thunder showers with a little more moisture in the atmosphere and those fronts kind of coming in on Indiana. Temperatures upper 70s to mid 80s, depending on the amount of cloudiness and the frequency of any shower activity. For Wednesday, cloudiness, but as the day goes on, should see a little more sunshine, a bit cooler, highs in the mid to upper 70s. That extended outlook indicates even cooler weather on Thursday, upper 60s to about 70. A little better chance of some scattered thunder showers on Friday as a reinforcing surge of cool air goes through, and then cool on Saturday with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Well, after tonight's ABC movie, The Tommyknockers, you may be wondering if we are alone in this universe. There are those for years who have been saying that we are not.
The government ended its investigation of UFOs a long time ago, back in 1969. There are many civilians who continue to look for proof. And Tracy Horth joins us with more on that score.
And many of those people live right here in Indiana. From 1947 to 1969, there were 12,000 sightings of UFOs. After investigating, all but 700 were identified. The Air Force ended Project Blue Book after it said the investigation did not reveal any threat to our national security. But despite what the government says, there are still many people who do believe there are other life forms out there in the universe. And some people, like one Indianapolis woman, even believe they've been abducted.
I was in the spaceship in a large white room.
Sandy Van Brocklin is a psychic. Her job is to help people see the future while she lives with a past she can't forget.
The next thing I remember, I was on the table in the middle of the room, and they were then putting needles in me and drawing liquid out of me and putting liquid in me. Then they told me that they were going to put this little homing device in my sinus And they proceeded to do that without saying, "Do you mind?" I mean, they just did it. I heard a crunching noise inside of my, I guess that was the bone, and but I didn't feel any pain.
Sandy's story is not at all surprising to this man. Leonard Stringfield has investigated UFOs since World War II. Stringfield specializes in crash retrievals. He claims there have been 12 alien crashes on U.S. soil since 1947.
It's my belief with massive evidence that we have the alien craft and the bodies in government custody.
He has published what he calls testimonial evidence in a series of reports.
I have 40 first-hand independent witnesses who claim that they have seen the craft and or the bodies in government custody. I have well over 500 people through intermediaries who have second-hand information.
Stringfield has also published a report made by two doctors, a hematologist and a biochemist, stating they performed an autopsy on an alien, described as 4 feet tall with gray skin.
The head is large by human standard, large wraparound eyes, very powerful eyes.
There are numerous civilian groups searching for proof UFOs exist. Jerry Sievers of the Mutual UFO Network.
You know, you get story after story after story of a little gray guy, and these people supposedly don't know each other. I mean, there's got to be some cooperation there.
The civilians who investigate UFOs obviously believe they exist. While they have testimony to back up their claims, actual proof is hard to come by.
Stanton Friedman, who lives in Vancouver, is a nuclear physicist. He says if we took the evidence we have now, took it to court to prove the existence of UFOs, he says we could do it in a minute. But you don't take stuff like this to court, you have to take it to the scientists. And the scientists are very hard at it.
A recent Gallup poll shows 49% of Americans believe UFOs exist, and 13 million people have claimed to see them. For those gravity-bound humans who watch the skies and wonder, the search for proof will continue.
As long as there's a mystery, I'll be out there.
The Air Force, again, does not think there is a mystery out there. Military personnel at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where the Blue Book project was conducted, say no UFO investigation is currently going on.
So intriguing. Why would there be a government cover-up, though?
If it's true? According to the people who study UFOs, who call themselves ufologists, it is a matter of us being unable to deal with this kind of news, that it would be too frightening to us. But they say in this age of mass media, we're becoming more aware of things, that it may not be as shocking. So perhaps they're hoping there'll be some revelation, but of course that depends on whether or not it is actually true.
Okay, very interesting.
I'd like to meet them. Still a lot more news coming your way on 6 News tonight. A bit later, we're going to meet some seniors going to a prom, but not exactly the type of seniors you might think.
Also coming up in sports, it was a close call, a tough day for Nelson Piquet. That and more straight ahead with Ed.
NASCAR is coming to Indy, but what do the fans and drivers think of stock cars invading the fabled Brickyard? Find out tomorrow as Jim Parsons goes behind the scenes at Talladega and the Speedway. Join us for Nuts About NASCAR tomorrow on 6 News at 6.
This portion of the news is sponsored in part by Shoney's, the best breakfast in town.
Here's your dinner. This isn't what I ordered. Where'd he go? I knew I should have gone to Shoney's.
How is everything?
Well...
Good.
He did it again!
There's a really big deal going on at Shoney's. So big, they made food the star. Lasagna, tortellini, manicotti, stuffed shells, and spaghetti dinners. Your choice, starting at $4.99. So come on by. Hey, at least give me a close-up.
There's only one place on Earth, one place where you'll find laughs and thrills and great music for every member of your family. Opryland, USA.
Now there's more fun for everyone.
Think about this.
AM/FM stereo, air, automatic, rear defrost, power locks. You want them? I got 2 cars for you. Chevy Cavalier and Ford Escort. Take your pick. Then think about roads, ice, rain. You want help stopping in them? Get the Cavalier VL because it's got something Escort doesn't. Standard anti-lock brakes. Now, think about 500 other things. No, dollars. You want them? Then get the Cavalier VL and get $500 towards the down payment. Chevy Cavalier. Hey, it's your money. Think about it.
These days, it looks like the price of everything is going up. Fortunately, Indiana Bell sees things differently. We've reduced our rates on toll calls as much as 44%. A call, say, between Indianapolis and Muncie is now 29% less. And there are savings anytime you call, night and day. It's just our way of giving you a good value for your dollar and a good reason to call your mother. Indiana Bell is Ameritech, your link to a better life.
It's getting organized, putting things in piles. That's all the preparation you need, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready to roll. Thanks. Good evening, folks. It certainly wasn't that terrible crash that he had to endure a year ago, but Nelson Piquet did have another brush with the wall this afternoon at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, although thankfully it was just a brush. You saw the shot right there. He's exiting turn 2, coming out of the south chute, and he went up high and just scrubbed the back right part of his car, number 77 car from Menard Racing, up against the wall. Emerson has tried so hard to come back and get back in the car at Indy, and this was almost a major setback, but luckily he made it out.
I've been trying to set up the car all day. We have always a little bit to lose the back of the car. We could not fix that, and it happened.
You're okay. The car did not appear to be too badly damaged.
No, I've been lucky this time.
I should say, hot laps today. Paul Tracy at the top of the leaderboard for the second straight day. Emerson Fittipaldi, his Penske teammate, right there as well. Scott Goodyear, Mario Andretti, and our buddy Arie Luyendyk rounds out the quick 5. All right, Rusty Wallace was in town today. In fact, he toured the Brickyard with Roger Penske. Amazing that he can tour anything but a hospital room after you check out this crash he had a couple of weeks back at Talladega in the Winston 500. He sustained a broken arm and a concussion out of this. And today he was out test driving out at IRP. Just amazing. And he sat down with our Scott Hoke today and talked about what it was like taking this incredibly wild ride through the infield grass at Talladega.
I just could not believe it happened because I had the exact same feel I had at Daytona. You know, spin to the right, lay real hard on the right rear end comes up in air, and I just held on as tight as I could, but the impact was so dramatic, the first hit, that it just blew my left wrist right off the steering wheel. And then as the car flipped, my arm fell out the window, and the car ran over my arm, broke my arm. And so it was dramatic. I mean, bad deal. But and then I was out, and got knocked out, then I came back too. So when I woke up, I think I seen Elvis.
I think he saw the fat Elvis too. I mean, that was almost as scary. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, NBA playoff action and more. And if you're in need of a job, there's an opening among the NBA coaching vacancies. So we'll be back with that and more.
Some people say they've seen them flying around, but I've got pictures. Well, sure, they're small. Fly right up your nose, wreak havoc with your sinuses. That's why I invented this intradomicile microparticle snatcher. Come to Papa.
There's an easier way to rid your home of irritating dust and pollen. SpaceGuard high-efficiency whole house air cleaner.
There goes another one.
SpaceGuard. Nobody makes clean air easier. Look for our name in the yellow pages under air cleaning.
Hey, you!
It's Clarence the Crusher.
There's too much food in these Encore Salisbury steaks.
Tell him, Crusher.
How can I eat all these juicy, charbroiled steaks in rich, beefy gravy?
But Crusher, Encore's a 2-pound family-size entree.
I don't have a family.
I do. And we love Encore. We'll be over at 6 tonight.
Really? You will?
Al, about this Encore veal parmigiana.
5 tomorrow?
Oh.
For tasting more, it's Encore.
When it comes to quality, people have their own ideas on everything, from cars.
I only drive Bentley.
Use Chevy for me.
To watches.
Rolex, always.
Timex.
To computers.
IBM.
Who says quality's just for the rich? Come to Best Buy and get 0% financing for 6 months on any computer, like this IBM with 129 meg hard drive, 2 meg memory, monitor, printer, software, and more, just $15.98.
It seems we have the same taste after all, sir.
On the next live, Academy Award actress Mercedes Rule is lost in Yonkers, and we'll talk to her.
Plus actor turned director Mario Van Peebles.
Tuesday morning at 9 on WRTV 6.
And welcome back. Bob Weiss was fired today as head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. His team was swept in the first round of the NBA playoffs by the Bulls. Weiss held the job for 3 years. The Hawks were 124 and 122 during the 51-year-old's tenure there. Rockets and Sonics, game one of the best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal series tonight. Akeem, 26 points and 16 boards for the Rockets. This game at the Seattle Coliseum. Eddie Johnson, the J goes at the end of the first quarter. EJ had 20 off the bench. 49-47, Sonics led a low-scoring game at halftime. Third quarter, Sean Kemp, the touch pass to Michael Cage for the jam. Kemp, 14 points and 11 boards. Ricky Pierce led the winners with 23. Sonics win by 9, 99-90. Game 2 Wednesday in Seattle. There's some news that I guess you could interpret as good tonight. Reggie Lewis of the Boston Celtics has gotten a second opinion on his heart condition and says he plans to try and play again. Now, Lewis collapsed here in the opening round of the playoffs against Charlotte. He's the 27-year-old swingman, star of the Boston Celtics. One doctor said he felt it was cardiomyopathy, the condition that resulted in the death of Hank Gathers. But another doctor said it's not that, and this can be treated by drugs.
Well, I'm really sure that I can. I think that's why it's taken so long for us to come up with a statement, because we wanted to be 100% sure that I will be able to go back and lead a normal life and do whatever I would like to do.
I hope he can do that. Nashville sent the Indians to their fifth straight defeat this afternoon at Busch Stadium. 9-6 was the final. The Tribe drops to 11-16 on the season. Same two teams play tomorrow night at 7:15. Big league action, Pirates and Phillies. Oh, to be a sportscaster in Philadelphia with those wacky Phillies ruining your pregame live shot. I wouldn't stand for that, pal. Bottom of the seventh, we're tied 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 out. Darren Dalton. By the way, this guy is married to the girl you see on the Hooters billboards. Lynn Austin is Darren Dalton. You don't get that kind of minutia anywhere but here, folks. Grand slam off Bob Walk, the second in 2 days for the Red Hot Phils. They went 5-1. They are now 23-7, their best start ever after 30 games. On to the National League board. New York wins 1-0 over Florida. Chicago beats LA 6-2. Other winners were Houston and Colorado and Cincinnati by 1 over San Diego. On to the American League, Yankees and Tigers, top of the fourth, 1-0. Detroit leading. Sparky Anderson. Alan Trammell commits the 3-base error here. Don Mattingly scores all the way from first base. He made a much better shortstop. We're tied 1-1. It goes extra innings in the 10th. Out of North Central High School, it's Gary Thurman with the RBI single to right, scoring Tony Phillips with the game winner, 2-1. Tigers win in 10. Running the old American League scoreboard. White Sox lead big late. Texas doubling up Oakland in the 7th inning. We also have Minnesota cruising past California. Baltimore just Boston 2-1. And let's move on to some NHL playoff action. The incredible man, Mario Lemieux, scores his second goal of the night here. Isles and Pens tonight on the rebound. 2 goals and an assist for Super Mario. Pens win at 6-3. They lead the best of 7. The Patrick Finals 3-2. Game 4 Wednesday in New York. And I said it at 10. I'll say it again. You can't find a more amazing sports figure in this year than Mario Lemieux. Chemotherapy and all. He misses 2 months of the season, comes back and wins the NHL scoring title after missing 2 months, and he's probably going to lead these guys to their 3rd straight Stanley Cup.
A lot of courage.
Yeah, it's amazing heart, too.
We'll be right back.
So what's so special about Hardee's combos?
Hardee's has combos you can't get anywhere else.
For instance?
Hardee's Frisco Burger Combo. A big burger on sourdough bread, plus fries and a Coca-Cola.
I'll do a Hardee's Frisco.
But we have a chicken combo. Hardee's juicy, crispy, 2-piece fresh fried chicken.
Chicken is good.
Good. Then there's Hardee's tender roast beef or Hardee's juicy quarter-pound cheeseburger.
And some?
All
each.
Our combos start at $2.99. Fix your sandwich like you like it at our free Fixins bar.
This is Larry. This is his package. While Larry sleeps, the UPS Total Track system works round the clock. Tracking any air or designated ground package. It even records the recipient's signature. So now, anytime, Larry can get the status of his package in seconds. Larry doesn't work around the clock, but his delivery company does. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on.
The Ray Halls at home. Bobby, the family man. And Debbie, the mom and animal lover. a driver and his family like you've never seen them before. Join Ed Sorensen for Bobby Rahal, a #1 plan.
Be there Tuesday night at 8:30.
On WRTV 6.
Who gives you more than just car talk? Ed and Ari, of course.
Trackside 6.
Tomorrow night at 5 on WRTV 6.
Want to know how to travel first class all the time? Mercury Grand Marquis. Even with the most fuel-efficient V8 engine around, it still offers incredible room, great ride and comfort, not to mention the added security of standard dual airbags. It even has a trunk big enough to hold a trunk. Mercury Grand Marquis. Now more than ever, it's worth a trip to your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Organizers of this year's 500 Festival Parade want audience participation this year. And this year, if you're downtown for the parade, you'll be able to participate. Ticket holders will get a parade bag containing a kazoo, a small American flag, a paper tiara, and a clown nose, all to be worn or used at the appropriate moments when the bands, the princesses, and the clowns pass in review. Festival organizers also announced today Hoosier basketball legend Larry Bird will be this year's Grand Marshal.
Tonight, Channel 6 and the community honored 54 people who are making a big difference in the lives of our children. The teachers we profile every Friday in our Teacher of the Week segment on 6 News at 6. WRTV, in association with the John Holden DeHaan Foundation, sponsored tonight's dinner. It recognized all of our Teachers of the Week from 1992 and 1993. Indiana's Teacher of the Year and race driver Ari Leindyke both had advice for teachers.
But for all the teachers out there, I guess I'd like to congratulate you on your careers and be nice to the kids. They only listen to nice people.
As the Chinese proverb says, a child's life is like a piece of paper on which every passerby leaves a mark. Effective teachers would add to that paper, you are a valuable human being. I believe in you, and I'm here to help you learn and grow.
Each of the Teachers of the Week received also a $1,000 cash grant from the DeHaan Foundation to encourage excellence in schools. Clyde?
Well, they may not be as fast on their feet as they used to be, but that didn't keep several dozen senior citizens from enjoying their senior prom night. Tonight's celebration kicked off National Nursing Home Week. Residents dressed up in their best formal wear, just like so long ago. They danced and listened to big band sounds of the Park Tudor High School Band. Receiving special honors, George Matlock and Geraldine Turner, who were crowned prom king and prom queen.
We'll be back with a look at your weather in the morning, plus the top 6 adult contemporary hits right after this. Don't go away.
One roast beef dinner.
Coming right up.
At Old Country Buffet, frozen food leaves us cold. About the only things we have that are frozen are the free desserts. Come on into Old Country Buffet, where you get really good food, including desserts and beverages, for one low price.
Located in Southern Plaza, East Washington Plaza, Georgetown Plaza, and Castleton Plaza.
Folks in these parts like wide open spaces. That's why they buy Ford Aerostar. Wide open to fit it all. With safety, rear anti-lock brakes, driver's side airbag, child safety seats. With comfort, AM/FM stereo, air, captain's chairs, and more. And with savings, up to $1,900. Add cash back and save $2,900. Around here, people drive Ford. And the reason is simple. You won't find a better value. Remember, 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are at your Indiana Ford dealer now.
The first time I came to Walmart, and they greeted me at the door and they handed me a card, and you go, well, okay, this is nice. And then you realize that, well, gee, the prices are even less. So I paid with a check, and the woman looked at my name and said, thank you very much, Kay. I went, okay, I think I'll fall over, you know. My family in Kansas was absolutely right. It's a great place to shop.
Bye, Kay.
If you could live inside a child with behavior problems, you'd understand their confusion,
You're disrupting the class. I didn't mean to.
their inability to understand their emotions and actions.
Hey, stop it. What did I do?
And you would know that inside,
I can't help it.
he's desperately crying for help. A child with emotional problems can't ask for help. You can. Take advantage of the summer and get help for your child. Call Charter Hospital. If you don't get help at Charter, get help somewhere.
Bob's going to give us a hint about tomorrow, huh?
Looks like that's going to be kind of a changeover day. Very gradually, though, we'll have probably a little more cloudiness as the day goes on. Temperatures certainly comfortable for the drive time period, upper 60s to lower 70s, and only hints of south to southwesterly winds.
Hints. Very good. Is Michael Jackson heading to court? Paul McCartney coming to live TV? Those stories and more tonight on tonight's Hits and Picks. Here's Ann Craig from WENS.
Here's a look at what's making music news. Michael Jackson is the subject of yet another lawsuit. This one from boyhood friends in Gary. The three men claim that Jackson ripped off their work and used it in 3 of his hits, Thriller, We Are the World, and The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney. Now, speaking of McCartney, if you can't get to one of the stadiums where he'll be playing this summer, you can watch the show on TV. McCartney will have his first live televised concert from Charlotte, North Carolina on June 15th. Now let's take a look at what's hot on the Light Rock 97 WENS chart this week. At number 6, a beautiful song, Love Is, from Vanessa Williams and Bryant McKnight. Number 5, Do You Believe in Us, from John Cicada. The number 4 song is from Restless Heart with When She Cries. At number 3, up from number 6 last week, I See Your Smile from Gloria Estefan. Number 2 is Kenny G with Forever in Love, and Whitney Houston has a number 1 song of the week again from the soundtrack of The Bodyguard, I Have Nothing. Well, that does it for me. I'm Ann Craig from Light Rock 97 WENS. See you next Monday.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have a great evening. First news tomorrow morning at 6:30. Good night.